Hello, Vision Building Women, and welcome to Impact Academy. This is Dr. Sandra. I hope you all have had a fantastic day and you are ready for some phenomenal teaching on tonight. I am so excited to be with you. I'm just excited about the day. I have had a fabulous day and had a great church service this morning. Just have had a wonderful day today and just excited to be with you all on tonight. So come on in. I see people are jumping in. Just send me a quick hello to make sure that I can actually see you or see your comments. I'd appreciate that. And just say, those of you that are logging in, just say hi, just say hello so that I can see your comments. Every now and then, sometimes you can see Facebook comments, sometimes you cannot. And so I want to be able to see your comments on tonight. And so I am actually just looking at my my desktop to see if you all are putting comments in. And it looks like you are, which means I can't see them on the phone. I don't like it when I can't see the comments on the phone. But that may be a good thing because tonight I'm going to do some straight teaching and it is going to be phenomenal. And I really want you all to take lots of notes on tonight. You know, I was trying to figure out what should I call these past couple of sessions that I have been doing. And these past couple of, last week we looked at our topic last week was 11 goals that you must make for yourself in 2018 if you really want to get to your next level. And so this week, I am doing the teaching on that every woman needs 5 types of vision. Every woman needs 5 types of vision. And actually, it's actually going to be more than 5 types. I have one additional type to give you. You know, I always have a bonus, right? So come on in. I have to tell you that I can see that you all are giving me comments. Unfortunately, I cannot see your comments tonight. So please give me your comments. I am going to be looking at them and everything. I just can't see them on the phone on this evening, and I don't want to have to go back and forth to my computer. So please give me your comments. I know that you're on here because I can see you on here, and I appreciate everybody coming in. But tonight, I'm just going to go straight through, and then we're going to see if I can get off in an hour, all right? So, again, my name is Dr. Sandra Wall-Williams. For those of you who don't know me, I am the CEO and founder of WMS Corporation, and WMS Corporation is a professional development firm. And part of what I do in that firm is I work with women to actually move, to actually clarify, to plan, and to execute the vision that God has inside them. And we do that 3 ways: through mindset, through momentum, and through helping you to move forward. And so all of my teaching here in Impact Academy focuses primarily on mindset. And so I'm going to be focusing on that. And one of the things that I love to do, and I know that the Lord has gifted me for this, is to teach women so that you can get to your next place. What is the next place that God has for you? What is that thing that God wants you to be doing that you may or may not be doing now? You may be doing it now and you want to do more of it. Or you may not be doing it now and you want to know, how do I do it? How do I move forward in getting it done? So that's where we come in. That's where, in terms of my coaching, in terms of my mentoring, some of you are in the inner circle. I want to say hello to the inner circle. Mwah, to the inner circle. I love the inner circle. Those women have invested in themselves, and just the increase from last year in terms of what they've been able to do and what they've been able to accomplish is always amazing to me. I just love it, love it, love it. So again, welcome. My name is Dr. Sandra, and some of you don't know my story. I just want to take 30 seconds or maybe 60 seconds to tell you my story. Before I started working my dream full-time, because it was my dream to be able to have my own professional development firm where I could coach and mentor women with the biblical foundation, coach and mentor women through biblical foundation to be able to help them move forward with their vision, help them to move forward with what God has called them to do. I was a senior vice president for all 58 community colleges in the state of North Carolina, and it was a very, very high level leadership job. It was an executive position. It was executive position, chief level position. And I really loved doing that. I really, really did. But there was a point in time where it was time to stop. You've got to know when to leave. Okay. You've got to know when to say that's enough, and you got to know when to leave. And so, after lots of prayer and lots of other things that, having to get ready for that, I was able to walk away from that and do my dream full time. And that's what I do now. And so I'm actually walking in my calling, walking in the power, authority, and anointing of what God has anointed me to do. And so that is to work with women who are ready to move forward to that next thing that God has called them to do. Part of that we do here every Sunday night through Impact Academy. So some of you have been with us in Impact Academy since we started. And can you believe we are now going on our second year? September will be 2 years, and I'm very excited about that. So I just want to give you a little bit of background about me. I just didn't pop up. I mean, I've been in leadership for a very long time. I'm still in leadership. I'm an elder. I'm a minister in Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship International. I have a ministry also called Teach. I'm going to be telling you to save some dates for those of you that have been with Teach or know about Teach. It is coming back in 2018. It always amazes me that when God elevates you, things around you have to elevate also. You need to write that down. When God elevates you, things around you, that means the things that you do, the kind of things that you're involved with, all those things are elevated also. You can't stay the same. You can't do the same. You can't be around the same kinds of people when God elevates you. Okay? So now I see there are a lot of people on here live. There are lots, and actually my computer shows me different. And there are a lot of people on here on the computer. Again, let me tell you, I cannot see your comments tonight, but please, please, please comment. Please comment. So I will go back to them and I will look at I read every single one of them. Actually, sometimes you see them actually in other stuff, right? That little piece of hair is getting on my nerves. Okay. So sometimes you see them in other stuff, but what I want to make sure you do is please, please, please comment. And I'll look back every now and then to see what the comments are. As a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me log on here. Let me turn the sound off, and then I can see the comments easier, okay? And I am going to do this. I'm going to back up the camera so that will allow me to see the comments a little bit easier. There we go. How's that? Okay? All right, looking there, and all right, I think I backed it up. I'm just looking at what it looks like on the screen, and we're going to get started. There we go. All right, now, because Facebook is delayed from when I'm doing it live with you. All right, so now let's get started with tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is that every woman needs 5 types of vision. Every woman needs 5 types of vision. And I said 5, but there's actually going to be one more. Okay. And I see a special friend has joined. And I just want to say happy birthday, Katina, again. We were at her birthday celebration on Saturday, and it was such a blessing, such a blessing. And Katina has been in my life for a very long time. And I just want to say happy birthday. I love you. I love you. And thanks for allowing me to share even though it's a surprise for you, but for your children, for inviting me and being able to share in your birthday. It was such a blessing, and I do praise God for that. So now let's look at tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is every woman needs 5 types of vision. If you see me look this way, it's because I'm looking at your comments. So go ahead, ask your questions. I'm going to be looking back. I have a huge screen over here, okay? And so I can see the whole screen, everything on this side. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them. If I don't answer it right away, then that's because I didn't see it. You may want to post it in there again, okay? So hello, everybody. I see there are lots of people here on Facebook Live. There are more people on the computer. I see that. Some of you are on iPads and iPods and all that kind of stuff. It actually shows up differently in my screen because of what I've got. So I can tell there are lots and lots of people on here. So now, again, welcome to those of you that are watching this on the replay. Welcome to you also. Now, let's get to the teaching tonight. Every woman needs 5 types of vision. Now, what I want you to do before I even go into the 5 types is that I want you to know that what I'm teaching tonight applies to every component of your life. Okay? I need you to understand that. What I'm teaching tonight applies to every component of your life. So when God calls you to do something, I want you to think about and realize that when he calls you to do something, these components are also a part of what he called you to do. So so many times God will tell us to do something and we just automatically shoot and start doing it. Just boom, we just start moving out there. And there's some things that we don't think about. Okay. There's some things that we don't pray about. Okay. And so I want you to remember these 5. Actually, it's 6. I said 5, but it's actually 6. I want you to remember these. And I want you to start defining what these 6 things are as it relates to what God has called you to do. Okay? So as it relates to what God has called you to do, I want you to begin to define these 6 things. And I'm going to give you some strategies and some work to do with these 6 things. Okay? But I want you to look at them. I want you to define them for yourself, for what God has called you to do. Okay? Hello, Lady Covington, my cousin, Lady Laura Covington. Oh, hey, Dr. Grant. Love you so much. Love you so much. And I am so excited about what we're getting ready to do. So excited. And let me stop. One more person I'm going to say hello to, y'all, and then I am going to go right into the teaching. And that is my beautiful, beautiful auntie is on here, Evangelist Lydia Jones, who has been a part of my life, all of my life, who was one of the first women other than my mom to actually pour into me from a spiritual basis. And so she is my auntie, world-renowned evangelist. Love her so much, and thank you so much for being on tonight. Mwah! Love you, auntie. Love you, love you. So now, let's get into the night's teaching. Every woman needs 5 types of vision, and I'm going to give you a bonus one also. So it's really 6, but I'm saying 5, okay? Number 1, okay, if you're writing, make sure you write this down. Number 1, you need a vision of abundance. A vision of abundance, okay? A vision of abundance. I'm just checking when you see me look this way, it's because I'm checking to make sure there are no questions or anything, okay? You need a vision of abundance. Now, you need to describe for yourself, what does abundance look like for me? Okay? Now, this is one of those things where so many times we always try to keep up with other people as opposed to defining and looking at what does abundance mean for me? Okay? So I want you to think of abundance in 4 areas. Think of abundance in 4 areas. Okay? I want you to ask yourself the question, what does spiritual abundance look like for me? What does physical or health abundance look like for me? What does emotional abundance look like for me? And then what does financial abundance look like for me? All right. So many times we don't define what it is where we want to be. Okay. If you don't define and know where it is that you want to be, or the goals that you have, or what you actually want to do, then you will not get there. It's just plain and simple. You have to know what abundance looks like for you. So let's look at each one of those very quickly. All right. Spiritual abundance. When we talk about spiritual abundance, some of you, your spiritual abundance may be just to be able to get up every single day and read the Word of God every day. And that might be your abundance. And that's fine, because that's yours. Okay. Some of your spiritual abundance may be that you want to finally walk in the call. You want to get rid of the fear and get rid of everything that's been holding you back. And you want to walk in the call that God has on your life. That could be your spiritual abundance. Okay. Your spiritual abundance, some of you, your spiritual abundance may be, I need to move from where I am to another place. It may be that, God, that you've been in this place for a very long time, and God is saying, okay, it's time for you to move on and go to someplace different. That could be your spiritual abundance. But see, your abundance, your vision of abundance will not happen if you don't know where you are going. if you have not defined it. Now, keep in mind, all right, keep in mind that abundance is God-given. God is going to give you abundance, but you have to work for it. All right? God is not going to get up and read for you. God is not going to answer the call that he's giving you for you. He's not going to do that. All right? He's not going to say, he's already called you for what he wants you to do. And if you're going to step out, if it's going to happen, you've got to step out and do it. Okay? God can't do that for you. All right. Sometimes we say, well, I'm waiting on God. I'm waiting on God. Well, God has already given you the abundance in all these different areas: spiritual, physical, emotional, and financial. God has already given it to you. But in order for the abundance to happen, your vision of abundance, and this is for all 5 of these, your vision of abundance has to have action with it. Okay, so whatever your vision is, the vision for abundance, whatever your spiritual vision for abundance is, whatever your physical, your emotional, your financial, you have to do the action. Because what you have been looking for, more than likely, God has already given you what you need to get there, but you're not acting on it. Okay, abundance, if you're writing, write this down. Abundance requires action. Let me say that one more time. Abundance requires action. If you're not taking any action towards moving forward spiritually, moving forward financially, moving forward with your health and physically, or moving forward emotionally, meaning moving past fears and all other kinds of different things, okay? If you're not taking action on those, then it will not happen. Okay? I'm just being plain and simple with you. All right? Because when you don't take action, how can you expect God to work if you're not? How can you expect God to work if you are not? That's a deep one. That's a deep question. If you're not doing your part, then why would God do his? Okay? Or why would he give you what he needs to give you and you're not doing your part? Okay, I read something in T.D. Jakes' book called Soar. If you haven't read that book, it's an excellent book. And in the book, he talks about how God made the tree, but man had to do the work to make the chair from the tree. We use chairs every single day. And the first chairs were made of wood. But God didn't come down and say, let there be a chair. He created all the living things. A tree is a living thing. And so he created all the living things such that we could have what we needed from the living things that he created. So he's already created abundance inside of you. Now it is on you to unlock the abundance that God has in you. And if you're going to unlock that abundance, you have to have a vision for that abundance. And that vision for that abundance needs to be written down. You need to know what it is. And you need to say to yourself, this is where I want to be spiritually. This is where I want to be physically and health-wise. Okay? This is where I want to be emotionally. This is where I want to be financially. And you've got to write some great goals around these. There is nothing, somebody said to me the other day, and if I would have had a bat, I probably would have hit him. But, Lord forgive me. But anyway, they said to me, there's no point in goal setting. No point in goal setting. They said to me, goal setting is for people who don't really know what it is they want to do. Well, you know what? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Because Jesus had goals, right? God had a goal when he sent Jesus here. It was just that the goal was already met before he sent him. All right? And there are ways that you write goals. I did a recording. If you're on my email list, you got that recording as part of your Happy New Year's gift. Okay? If you're not on my email list, then you didn't get it. But if you're on my email list, then you got a gift from me, a recording, a teaching on how to set goals for the year, basically. That's what we did. All right? So, number one is you have to have a vision of abundance, and your abundance requires action. Okay? Abundance requires action. You all have to remember that. All right? Let me look to see if there are any questions. I see a bunch of comments. All right? All right. Keep your comments going. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Number two. Everybody got number one. It's abundance. Number two. You have to have a vision of sowing seed. And when God gave me this one sort of knocked me off my feet right here. You must have a vision of sowing seed. All right. Now, first of all, what is sowing seed? Because that's a churchy term. That really is a churchy term. It's a biblical kind of term. And it means that whatever seed, whatever things, gifts, talents, abilities that's on the inside of you, you have to give and sow them into others. All right. So when you talk about seed is just those things that God has placed inside of you, your gifts, your talents, your abilities. Okay. For example, one of my giftings that God has given me is the ability to teach. I love to teach the word. I love to teach women. I love to bring revelation to God's word, and I love to deliver that revelation to God's people. So that is part of the seed that He has placed in me. Okay. So I give of that seed every Sunday night here on Impact. Part of my business, all right, is seed. I'm sowing seed. All right. It's part of my business. It's part of my company. What I do. I have a ministry called Teach. And Teach, we do that. All right. So I sow the seed of teaching. All right. So you have to have a vision of sowing seed, but you have to be able to define what exactly are my gifts, my talents, my abilities, my resources. What are my gifts, my talents, my abilities, my resources? Because that's the seed that you will sow. See, so many times people think that sowing seed is just about money, and it's not. Okay? Sowing seed is not just about money. Sowing seed is the ability to give, and I don't mean necessarily give for free, okay? But I mean to give out what God has placed inside of you. Okay? Now I want you to connect the first one with the second one. Okay? Because your vision of abundance is directly connected to your vision of sowing seed. I need you to get that. Your vision of abundance is directly connected to your vision of sowing seed. If you're not sowing, if you're holding back and not doing and giving out what God has given to you, what He's placed on the inside of you, then you cannot reap or have an abundance of something if you're not willing to take it and move forward with it and do what God has called you to do. Think about it. Okay? Think about it. What if I've got I have the gift of teaching. I am a teacher according to the book of Ephesians, okay, the callings and the offices of the church. And I know that, all right, and I've been appointed as that, all right, or ordained as that, I guess you should say is a better word, ordained as that. So the thing here is, what if I did not use my gift? The reason that some of you, this is going to be revelation and help some of you right here. The reason that some of you are so bound is because you're sowing the wrong seed. Come on now. The reason that some of you are so bound and you're not able to do some of the things that you want to do, you're frustrated with where you are. You want to move forward. You want to do this. You want to do that. You want to sing, but instead of, and you can sing, but there's an element of fear in you that won't allow you to do it. So instead of singing, you allow fear to overtake you, and you don't sing. So instead of singing, you say, well, I'll just usher. Or instead of doing that, you say, well, and some of you in terms of your career, because everything we talk about is calling, career, business, or ministry. Okay. These things can apply in all those areas. Okay. So instead of doing what you want to in your career, instead of being a nurse, which is something you've always wanted to be, you're a teacher because it was easier. All right. And you wonder why you're frustrated being a teacher is because you weren't supposed to be a teacher. You're supposed to be a nurse. So you were sowing your seed. You were sowing your seed in the wrong area. And so the gifts and the talents and the resources and the abilities that God has given you, you were sowing your seed in the wrong place. And you wonder why you're not reaping the abundance or reaping the kind of harvest that you have been waiting for. It's because you're sowing seed in the wrong area. Let me give you another example. When it was time for me to leave my job and to know it was time to go and to do what God is calling me to do full time, when it was time, things were going such that I was sowing my seed in the wrong place. All right. That was a place for 15 years, and it was good to me. I love community colleges. I advocate for community colleges all the time. We'll always do that. Okay. And still do things with some of them individually. Okay. But the thing about it is that when it was time to go, I began to get frustrated because my leadership seed, which is a gifting I have, my leadership seed, I was sowing there when I really should have been sowing where God had already prepared my own company and doing what I'm doing today. All right. You guys have got to get this. You've got to get this. When you are sowing your seed, you have to have a vision of sowing your seed, and you have to know, where is it that I should be sowing? Whether it's your calling, whether it's your career, whether it's ministry, whether it's your business, whether it's your life, regardless of what it is, you have to sow the seed that God has placed in you. You have to sow it in the right place, because if you don't, it's not going to yield abundance for you. And on top of that, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to be tired. Things aren't going to be easy. All right. Now, I work hard. I work hard every single day. All right. If you call me at any time of the day, I am until late at night. I am working, but I love what I do, and I'm taking the seed that God has placed on the inside of me, and I'm preparing it, and I'm sowing it into the ground that God has prepared. Now, some of you are sowing in the right ground, and you know you are, and it's great. But sometimes you need to stop sowing where you are and sow where God wants you to be. Ooh, get that. All right. Y'all are being quiet on here tonight. Y'all are being very quiet. All right. If you can hear me, if this is resonating with you, say yes or me, or say something to let me know it's resonating with you. All right. I see some lights going across the screen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I apologize again. I can't see your comments on the phone tonight, so I'm having to go back and forth and look on my big screen right here. All right. So again, number one is you have to have a vision of abundance. And number two, oh, there they go. You have to have a vision of sowing seed. And so many times people get seed mixed up with money. And seed is not always necessarily money. Okay. Seed is the talent, the time, the resources that God has given you, the skills and ability that God has given you. And you need to sow those in the right place. And when you sow those in the right place, then you'll begin to see the abundance, the vision of abundance that you have. That you've been looking for, that you've been waiting for. Some of you can't see the vision of abundance because, number one, you're sowing your seed in the wrong place. So you say, well, Dr. Sandra, I can't leave my job right now. I'm not telling you to leave your job, okay? Because I have some jobs, but I'm not hiring all different kinds of people. I may not be hiring what you're looking for. Okay, but I'm not telling you to leave your job. What I'm telling you is to identify your seed, identify your gifts, your talent, your resources, the things that God has given to you, and then determine, where is it that I should be sowing these? Okay, let me help you with another thing right here. All right, looking at the comments again. All right, so let me help you with something else, and that is, if you're sowing your seed in the wrong place, you could also be sowing your seed, in the right place, but sowing it at the wrong time. Let me wait a second, to let y'all get that one. You could be sowing your seed in the right place, but you're sowing it at the wrong time. Just like in the Bible, I'm not a farmer, but I studied seasons of harvest and preparation and planting for a study that I did and a workshop teaching that I did on seasons. And there are different times that you plant different seeds. I actually talked to a couple of big old farmers. I said, you know what? If I want to know about farming, let me talk to some people who do farming for like Del Monte and people like that. So I went online, found them. All right, found some farmers, talked to some real deal farmers. These are men and women who own farms that are big as cities, big as small cities. Okay, and so they told me that they cannot plant. I talked to specifically somebody who did green beans, that he cannot plant green beans any time of the year. There's a certain time, and when he plants it at that certain time. And if he plants it at the wrong time, he will not yield a harvest. Now, here's the thing I thought was very interesting. He told me that he could plant, if he planted green beans at the wrong time, they would grow, but they would not grow to the maturity that was necessary to be plucked up, or, when you pluck them up out of the ground, when you take them up out of the ground, that they would not grow to the maturity and they could not be eaten. Hope y'all getting this. So, if you're sowing your seed, right place, but wrong time, and you wonder why I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm still frustrated. It could be the wrong time. Your timing could be off. The Bible tells us that there's a time and a season for everything. A time and a season for everything. So if you're sowing, and you're sowing at the wrong time, so you say, Dr. Sandra, what do you mean the wrong time? It could be that instead of you doing something, you may need to be sitting back and listening and learning. Sometimes we jump into things too quickly, as opposed to sitting back and listening and learning and understanding before we actually jump into an activity. Okay? So remember, number one was, thank you. I see everybody give me the comments. Thank you so much. All right? So number one was, you need a vision of abundance. Number two is, every woman needs a vision of sowing seed. Define what your seed is, then define when you're going to sow it and how you're going to sow that seed. And keep in mind, seed is not always money. Okay? All right? Hi, Nicole Robertson. How are you? Mwah! My friend, how are you? How are things in Maryland? I can't remember. Oklahoma? You travel so much. All right? Great to see you. Number three. I need you to get this one. I need you to get all of them, but I want you to get this one too. Number three. Every woman needs a vision of momentum and movement. Every woman needs a vision, her own vision, of momentum and movement. Okay? Now you say, Dr. Sandra, what do you mean? First of all, let me tell you that momentum does not equal to movement. Movement and momentum are not synonymous. Okay? Because you can have movement and not have momentum. Now, you can't have momentum without movement. If you have momentum, you're going to have movement. That's just a given. If you have momentum, you're going to have movement. That's a given. But you can have movement and not have momentum. But if you are in 2018, if you are going to do all these things that you said that God is calling you to do, and all these things that you say that you want to do this year and you want to accomplish, you have to have a vision of momentum and movement that goes along with it. Okay? You have to have a vision of momentum and movement that goes along with it. Here's the thing about momentum. Momentum gives you what you need. All right, gives you what you need to push you, and it's the force behind pushing you, pushing you towards what that thing is that God has called you to do. And then when you have momentum, you will automatically have movement, because the outcome of momentum is movement. That's a physics property. Okay, for those of you that know physics and remember physics from back in the day, those of us that went that route in school, that whenever there is momentum, that movement is always an outcome of momentum. Here's what I need you to understand. When you have a vision of movement and momentum, you've got to know what gives you momentum. You must know what it is that gives you momentum. Let me say that one more time. You must know what it is that gives you momentum. And those things that don't push you, and those things that don't give you the force to move forward, that push you and give you a force to move forward, you need to begin to ask yourself, are those things hindering my movement or helping it? Some things that you're involved in And I had to learn this for myself. And this is a very, very hard lesson because it requires that you release some things that you're doing so that you can have momentum in the area that God wants you to have it. Some things that you're doing, you've been doing so long that all you're doing is moving around in circles. Okay? Some things you've been doing, you have movement, but all you're doing is moving around in circles. And this is what I mean by moving around in circles. Don't get mad with me. Say amen or say ouch, but don't get mad with me. Okay? Some of you enjoy doing the same thing all the time because it doesn't require any newness of you. When you do the same thing all the time, the same way, you go to the same organizations, okay? You're doing the same kind of programs. You're doing the same thing in church. You're doing the same job, okay? That doesn't require anything of you. It doesn't require any newness. It doesn't require any more education. It doesn't require any more thought, okay? It doesn't. But when you have momentum, momentum is going to require that you gain speed, all right? Physically, from the physics perspective, momentum requires that you gain speed so that you can move faster, and it gives you what you need to actually move at a faster and more heavier rate, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you keep doing the same thing in 2018 with the same people, the same thing, the same way, then at the end of 2018, you are going to be in the same place. It may look like, and this right here, and I really want you all to get this, because remember we said that 2018 was a year of what? A year of action. If you looked at my 30.18, is every 30 days you're taking action. What are you doing every 30 days to take action in your life, your ministry, your calling, your career, your business? What are you doing every 30 days to take action? All right? So when you don't have momentum, you can be making movement but not doing anything. And then you ask yourself, why am I in the same place at the end of the year that I was in the beginning of the year? What did I do? What did I not do? It's because you were around the same people. You were doing the same things. All right? You were eating the same way. Okay? I've had to change my eating habits. Literally, this year. Had to change my eating habits. All right? Because those of you that know me know that I can do breakfast, lunch, and dinner if I had to at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and Hardee's. Okay? Because I love fast food. But I've got to make a change. I've decided to do it, and I feel better, all right? My husband says I look better, all right? So whatever change is required for you to gain the momentum you need so that you can have the appropriate movement in your life, you need to make that happen. Because I'm telling you, if you have movement with no momentum, you're not going anywhere. Some of your movement may be to go back to school. Some of your movement may be to pick up a book and read it. Some of your movement may be to stay off the phone and use the time that you're on the phone and do something constructive. All right? Because if you want the abundance, the vision of abundance, if you want to be able to sow the seed that God has already on the inside of you, if you want to unlock the abundance and have the abundance that He has already given you, all right, then you've got to understand how to determine what is the momentum in your life and what do you need for that momentum, what do you need to keep you going so that you can move forward in the appropriate way. You know, it never ceased to amaze me. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, y'all just give me the comments, okay? It never ceased to amaze me that women will call me and they will say, Dr. Sandra, this is what I'm looking at doing. And, I don't help people write out plans. That's a part of my company. It's a part of my business. It's what the Lord has given me as a part of an abundance that He's given me. And so when we sit down, we have a coaching session or a strategy session, and they will invest in themselves and then do absolutely nothing with it. Okay? And then they look at me and they say, why is it not working? I said, because you're not doing anything with it. You made the movement of investing in yourself, but you got to have the momentum to do something with the investment. Okay, the investment that you make in yourself, whether it's a workshop, whether it's coaching, whether it's buying a book, whatever it is, that gives you the momentum for the appropriate movement. But you, again, I go back to the same word, you've got to take the action to get there. This is a hard word tonight. This is a hard word tonight. Y'all have got to get this though, because if you're going to do those things that you say God has called you to do in this year, in 2018, then you have got to understand that you've got to make or do the action that caused the movement to be able to move forward and do what God has called you to do. All right. Abundance isn't just going to show up. All right. It's just not going to show up. Abundance requires action. Action requires work. Okay. A vision of sowing seed. Yes, the seed is in you, but if you just let it sit in you and do nothing, you just hold it back because you're fearful. You know, I heard something that was absolutely awesome the other day. It talked about how do you gain your confidence in doing certain things. And the gentleman who was doing the teaching, he said the only way to gain confidence is to take action. The only way that you're going to gain confidence, he was talking about in public speaking, is to get up and speak. The only way that you're going to gain confidence in doing certain things is just to do it. All right, just to make it happen. The only way that you're going to gain confidence and to do that thing that you know that God has called you to do, the thing that has been deep down in your heart for so long, but for whatever reason you didn't, is you've got to put people to the side. You've got to put other things to the side and say that I am going to do this thing. I'm going to step out bit by bit, and I'm going to do it little bit by little bit, and I'm going to make these actions happen in my life, because if you don't, you are holding yourself back. Right? You can get all the coaches, you can get all the mentors, you can spend all this time with all these people, but let me give you a secret, something my mentor told me. She always told me and told all of the people, that all of us that she mentors, that she is your guide, not your ride. Okay? I say the same thing. I can teach you every single Sunday night here in Impact Academy, but if you don't go out and do and apply the things that we teach, then you're just wasting your time. All right? It's a good word. It's good teaching. Not because I'm doing it, but because it's good. It's what God's given me, and it's good. I've done my study. I've done what I'm supposed to do to come to you on Sunday night. But what I need for you to understand is that when you work this out in your life, when you take the material and go study it for yourself and then begin to ask yourself the kinds of questions, you know, like I said, what is my vision of abundance for my spiritual life? My vision of abundance for my physical, my emotional, my financial life. What seed is on the inside of me? What seed do I need to sow? What seed is on the inside of me? What is my vision of momentum and movement? What gives me momentum? What gives me that motivation to move forward? When you don't answer those questions for yourself, then let me tell you, I love you, but you just sat here for a whole hour. And if you don't do anything with what we bring to you, then you're going to be in the same place that you were at the end of 2018 that you were in the beginning of 2018. I don't want that for you. Because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the reason that you're here, the reason that you come on and you look at me, not look at me, but you watch this training every Sunday night, is because there is something on the inside of you. There is something that you want to move forward. And I'm using the gift that God has given me to help pull that out, to give you the mindset to say, yes, you can do what He's called you to do. But here's the key. He gives you what you need, but you've got to take what He's given you and work it and take action towards it. Vision of abundance, vision of sowing seed, vision of momentum and movement in the areas of your life. Number 4 is you've got to have the vision of your assignment. Okay? The vision of your assignment. Again, I'm looking at the screen here to see if there are any questions. I see y'all are commenting like crazy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish I could see it on my screen. Okay? On this screen. I can see it over here. Oh, yes. I like that, Marticia. She says, action requires focus. Yes. One of the things that we're going to be doing in the Inner Circle is going to be on a whole session just on focus. Oh, I'm so excited about what we're doing in the Inner Circle this year. It's awesome. Okay, if you haven't already joined the Inner Circle, please go to the website, do that, and, you know, if it's for you, it is. If it's not, it's not. But please stay here on Impact Get Impact every single week at 9 o'clock, and we're bringing things to you in the inner circle. We just go deeper. Okay, we go deeper, and they get held accountable for what it is they say they're doing. All right, number 4. Number 4 is the vision of assignment. The vision of assignment. Now, what is the vision of assignment? The vision of assignment is, we must know what is it that God is calling us to do in this season of my life. In this season of my life, what is God calling me to do? What is the assignment that God has for me? Now, I want to bring this such that it's not all big and you can't understand it. Okay, the assignment for your life, first of all. And I want you to take the time to do this. So you might need to watch this part of the replay, watch this part of this again in the replay. When you look at your assignment, you have different assignments in every area of your life. The first thing you need to do is understand what are the areas of your life. Okay, for those of you that are married, you have your marriage. For those of you who are single, you have your their singleness. You have children. Okay, those of you you're a parent. Those of you that are parent, you have your work life. You have your volunteer life. You have your work life, your job, your vocation, whatever it is. You have your spiritual life. You have your financial life. Okay, so those are all different areas of your life. Here's something you need to understand. You can have a different assignment in every single area. The assignments may coincide, okay, and they may work together, but don't think that there's one big grandiose assignment and that's the only thing that you do, because that's not correct. Okay, God made us beings such that we do many different things in areas of our life. All right. So, for example, yes, I'm a business owner. I am and as a part of my business, there's my mentoring, there's my coaching, there's my teaching and my training. I do all of that. All right. But in that's my vocation and that's my business. But there's also ministry. All right. My ministry assignment is that I still do teaching. Okay. My business assignment requires that I run a company and I make money from that company, and I do. Okay. My ministry assignment means I pour into the lives of women. All right. In different ways. And I'm doing that. Okay. My mother assignment, being a mom, all right, is I'm here for my son, and I'm doing that. Okay. And it takes a village to raise a child. And there's only one person who's going to know what I'm talking about. If you're watching this, if you're here and you're on the replay, thank you so much for what you did for me today. Okay. And you know who you are. All right. And so there's raising a son. There's a wife assignment. Okay. There is a church assignment, because I'm in a church. There's a church assignment that I have. All right. There are other assignments that I have in other areas of my life, but you have to be able to define those. And let me tell some of you something. Don't get mad at me. You can say amen or say ouch, but don't get mad. Okay. If this is you can put a check in the box. Some of you have too many assignments that are not of God. Don't get mad. Just say amen or say ouch. All right? Some of you have too many assignments that are not of God. When you do things and you put yourself and you're in different places such that it is not of God. Sorry, I'm just looking here again. Such that it is not of God. And then you begin to wonder, why is what I'm doing so hard? Why is there so much conflict? Why is there this not working out for me? It's because it was not your assignment. Let me give you a specific example that's near and dear to my heart. Okay, we have some things going on at my church, and we're working on getting a new pastor and those sorts of things. And I'm not involved in any of that, other than any other parishioner is. I'm not on any committee. All right. The only thing that was my assignment was to use my gift of administration, that when the men of God who were candidates, when they came to minister at our church, my assignment was to use my gift of administration to be in charge of the services that day, to be in charge of the men of God when they came on our campus, our church campus, and then to work with them and make sure that everything they needed and everything they had, and to be the flow of the service. And then after that, they were turned over to someone else. That was my assignment. Stay in my lane. Okay. My assignment was not other components of it. But here's the thing. Things began to go awry and go astray, and crazy stuff started happening. You know how it is when leadership changes and all that, if you've ever been through that. But what I found out was that too much of my energy and my time, or my energy and my time, was taken up by thinking about all these things that were happening, all these things that were being said, and all these kinds of things. Well, I got a call from my mentor, whose birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Apostle! All right, my mentor, Dr. Shirley Brown, her birthday is tomorrow. But I got a call, and she said, she knew what was going on with me. And she told me, she said, stop taking on assignments that are not yours. Even if you're not doing the work, if your mind is tied up in an assignment that's not yours, it's going to clutter your mind and take you away from the assignment that is yours. So in 2018, you need to have a vision of assignment and know what your assignment is in every area of your life. And don't get bogged down and cluttered in your mind with assignments that do not belong to you. Oh, come on now. Let me let that one sit for a minute. Okay? Do not get bogged down with assignments that were not meant for you, because they clutter your mind, they clutter your thinking, they have you doing the wrong kinds of action. You could be doing things that you have no business doing. You could be saying things you have no business saying. It's because you're putting yourself in an assignment that does not belong to you. All right? If something is not my assignment, it's not that I don't care. It's just it's not my assignment. If I'm not doing something or participating in something, it's just not my assignment. It's not the vision of the assignment that God has for me at this time. Okay? Right now, part of my assignment to be a mom is to stay on top of what my child is doing. All right? And I appreciate all of you that help me do that, because it takes a village to do that. It takes a village to do that. He's 16 years old. That's some stuff that we got to stay on top of. Y'all that are mothers of 16-year-olds or have been that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? You've got to stay on top of that. There's a vision of an assignment for my marriage. There's certain stuff I've got to do. All right? That's part of my assignment. All right? There's a vision of assignment for my company. There's a vision of assignment for the ministry that God has given me steward of. There's a vision of assignment that God has given me for other things in my life. And when things want to penetrate that or want me to go outside of that, I don't do it. I don't do it. Let me tell you what helps you within the vision of assignment is the word no. No, no, no period, no period, no period. That's it. If it is not your assignment, then learn to say no. Learn to say no. If it is not your assignment, learn to say no. Because if you don't say no, you're going to start doing things that are not your assignment, and you're going to have yourself busy, and you're not accomplishing anything. That goes back to number 3, because if you're doing things that are outside of your assignment, then you maybe have movement, but you have no momentum. See, when you're within your assignment, when you're doing what God has actually said, this is what you should be doing in this area of your life. When you are doing this, then you will constantly get the momentum to continue to do it. You'll constantly get the momentum to make it better. You'll constantly get the momentum to enhance it. You'll constantly get momentum that makes you better and stronger as you do the assignment. But when you are off doing something that is not intended for you, because you said yes to the wrong thing, or you said yes just because somebody expected you to say yes, or because you couldn't say no, then you're going to find yourself mixed up and frustrated and tired and mind cluttered and angry and overwhelmed and all these things that you say you're trying to get rid of, keep in mind, if you don't have that vision of assignment in every area of your life, all right, if you don't know what your assignment is in the different areas of your life, then you're going to be doing things that you shouldn't be doing in the first place. My mentor's watching. Hey, Dr. Brown, happy birthday. All right. So now, all right, hope y'all are getting this. All right, hope y'all are getting this. Yes, Prophet Scarborough says, saying no will keep you from being stressed out for no reason. Stay in your lane. Yeah, y'all are getting it. Thank you. Wonderful. Yes, boundaries. Create boundaries. All right, that's something else that we're going to be doing in the inner circle this year, is creating boundaries and learning how to stay within them and keeping other people out. All right, keep other people out. Some of you need to keep people out of your life that don't need to be there, but I'm not going to go there tonight. Okay. All right, so I hope this is good for y'all. I hope y'all are getting this. And if you're getting it tonight, give me some likes, give me some hellos, or give me something so I can make sure that you all are getting this on tonight. All right? You getting it? Just making sure. There we go. I see the likes coming across. Thank you. Okay, so number 1, vision of abundance. Number 2, you must have a vision of sowing seed. Number 3, you must have a vision of momentum and movement. Number 4, you must have a vision of assignment. Number 5, you must have a vision of provision. Oh my goodness, you got to get this. A vision of provision. Oh, I got to stop one more time and say hello to somebody who is near and dear to me. It is my beautiful cousin, Kalia Abdul Karim. Mwah. How are you, Kalia? And those of you hear me talk about my Muslim cousin, that's my Muslim cousin, and I love her so much, okay? She and her husband, love you. Both of them are my cousins. Love you. So much, love you. So number 5, you must have a vision of provision. A vision of provision. Okay? So some of you don't know what provision you already have, and you're looking for other kinds of provision, and you're not using the provision you already have. Let me say this right here. Just like over here that we said that seed is not always money, seed is what you plant. Provision is what you take and earn. Get that? Okay? Seed is what you plant. Seed is what you have within you. Provision is what you take, you earn, you go get more of. All right? So, what provision do you have? Again, provision is not necessarily money. Some of you are waiting on, somebody told me the other day they're waiting on a grant to get started in ministry. I just didn't get that one. Well, yes, I did. I got it. And I kept my mouth closed because you have to know when to say something and know when not. I didn't know this person that well. So I didn't tell them, what are you doing? Why would somebody give you a grant, free money, when you're not doing anything? You're waiting on them to give you the money, which tells them, unless you get the money, you're not going to do it. When you really want to do something, you're going to do it whether you have the money or not, even if it's only a little piece of the thing. So what provision are you already working with? Okay? Is the provision, again, provision is not necessarily money. Provision could be education. Provision could be your own skills, knowledge, and abilities that you have, your talents, your skills, your knowledge, your abilities. Provision could be mentors. Provision could be coaches. Provision could be workshops you're going to or seminars. Provision can be a book. What provision are you going after to be able to have the vision for the vision that God has given you? I did a whole teaching last year on provision for your vision. And actually I'm working on a short ebook on that. Provision for your vision. Okay? Provision for your vision. And so many people think that provision is money. And yes, in a sense it is. Okay, in a sense it is. But you have to be able to take what God has given you, do something with it, all right, and make more. For example, you know, there's the Bible parable, or the parable of the talents. And remember that I think one had 10, I believe one had 5, and one had 1 or something like that. And so depending on what they did with it is how they were blessed. If you don't take what's already in you, the seed that's already in you, and do something with it, there's not going to be any provision. God blesses those who work. God blesses. God makes movement with those who are making movement for themselves. Come on now. You need to understand this, because I'm going to tell you, when I understood this, I stopped just saying, okay, I'm going to wait for this, or I'm going to wait for that, or I'm going to put in this application. I'm not saying don't do that. But what I did is I started doing things myself, whether I had the resources or not. I started using what I had. Let me give you a prime example. When I was in divinity school, there was this scholarship, and it was called, looking at the time, okay, I got about 10 more minutes, and then I'll be done. There was a scholarship, and it was called the Azusa Scholarship. Regent has this thing, it's called the Azusa Scholarship. It is for African American, people in African American ministry, who are primarily the people that you're working with are African Americans. Okay? Scholarship hadn't been given in years. And it was a full ride. Everything was paid for. The only thing I had to pay for was my meals and my hotel when I went to stay up in Virginia. But my tuition, my books, my fees, everything got paid for. You know why? Because they wanted to see, what are you doing with African Americans in ministry? At that time, I was doing a program called Teach Her, where I was working with women in ministry to develop their ministries. That's what I was doing. And I did that with my own money. I did that with my own time, my own talents, my own resources, the things that God had given me. I did that with the resources I had. So see, I had that, and I wrote about that as part of my application for the Azusa Scholar. Okay? And Azusa Scholar is a big thing at Regent. When you're an Azusa Scholar, you're always an Azusa Scholar. I still get email from them today and stuff from them today, because you're always an Azusa Scholar. All right? And Azusa comes from the Azusa Street where the Pentecostal movement was founded. All right? So now going back to what I was saying. So I did the work with the provision that I had, and then God multiplied the provision based on the work I had done. So I wrote about what I had done for Teach. I wrote about the kinds of things that I was doing for women. It wasn't huge. It wasn't big at that time, but I was working what God gave me. I was working what he gave me. And see, here's the thing. Sometimes you don't work what God gives you. He's not going to give you more provision if you're not doing anything with the provision he's already placed on the inside of you. If you're not doing anything with the extra that you already have. Okay? If you're not doing anything with that, he's not going to give you more. Why should he bless you more, and you're not doing anything with what he's already given you? All right. So I was able to write about that. Even some of the ladies, Carol Clark wrote a wonderful letter for me as one of the participants. A couple of other people who were participants in Teach Her wrote fabulous letters for me. And that became a part of my package. They talked about how they were blessed and everything and what they had done because they were a part of Teach Her. All right. And then I was able to take that, put that in a package, a written package, put that into my scholarship application, and I was an Azusa Scholar for 2 years. 2 years. That's because I used the provision that I already had, what God had already given me. I used that, and then I took that, built off of that, and then I said, God, there's more out there, and then God, I used it. I was able to get the scholarship, get my master's in divinity, full ride. Some of you, you're not using what you have to be able, not using the provision that you have. You want more, but you're not doing anything with what you have. If you're not doing anything with what you have, why would God bless you with more? And you're not doing anything with what you have. Looking at the, I love these comments. Dr. Grant says, you have not because you ask not. Exactly. Leveraging your talent and your current resources for the next resource. Exactly. Exactly. So I'm telling you, y'all have got to stop just saying, I want, or God please, God please, God please, and work. Work. Take some action. Do the work that is necessary to get where God wants you to be. Last one. Oh, that was the last one. That was number 5. Let me give you the bonus one. So, number 1 was vision of abundance. Number 2 was vision of sowing seed. Number 3 was a vision of momentum and movement. Number 4 was your vision of assignment. Number 5 was vision of provision. And then number 6, this is a bonus, is a vision of your relationships. I'm not going to stay here but a minute because I can almost teach on this one all night long. And y'all know I can, right? Vision of your relationships. These are 3 questions actually, I want you to ask yourself for 2018. 3 questions I want you to ask yourself for 2018. Number 1 is, who should be on my front row in 2018? Who should have a front row seat in my life in 2018? Ask yourself that question. You don't have to get an answer tonight, but you need to ask yourself, who should get a front row seat in my life in 2018? Some of you, this is a bonus. This is number 6, vision of relationships. Some of you need to kick some folk off the front row that you've allowed them to sit on. Some of you need, I've had to kick some folk off my front row. I still love them. Oh, I still love them. Oh, yes, I still love them. But they can't be on the front row in my life because they're holding me back. All right? They're cluttering up my mind with stuff they're talking about. All right? They're cluttering up my time. They want resources from me, want me to give, but that yet when I need it's a shoulder to cry on. I need some, they ain't there. Or they ain't got time. Come on now. Some of you need to ask, all of you need to ask yourself the question, who needs to be on the front row of my life in this season? Who needs to have a front row seat? Who do I need to kick off of my front row? Some of you need a new front row. And some of you need people on your front row that don't look like you, don't talk like you, don't necessarily believe like you. Okay? I'll be honest. All right? My Muslim cousin and his wife, Kalia, is on here, and she'll tell you, they on my front row. And you know why they on my front row? Because they're always teaching me things. They're always teaching me things, not about Muslim stuff, because they know I'm Christian and they know I love the Lord and Jesus Christ is my Savior. We believe differently. But there are things that they both poured into my life in terms of leadership, in terms of other areas, in terms of what they believe. I understand more about that religion. I don't believe in it, and they know that, so I'm not telling her anything she doesn't know on this video, okay? And there are things that I have learned about them, because I had a question, and nobody but 2 of them, well, actually my cousin, my Kashif, her husband, could answer it. So I'm telling you, you need some people on the front row, on your front row, that don't necessarily look like you or believe like you. Carol says that she lost me. Are you all still there? Let me make sure. If you're still there, give me some likes or something across the screen. I want to make sure. It says that you lost me. Okay, so you're still there. Great. Thank you. Okay. I'm not sure what happened with you, Carol, but maybe you need to go back in and come back in again. Okay. So, but you need people on your front row that don't necessarily look like you or talk like you because they add value. Yes, somebody put the word up here, diversity. You need some people. All right? You need some people. Kalia says the Bible admonishes us not to allow our ears to be used as a dumping ground. That's right. Some of you have people that are some of the relationships you have that are on your front row are putting things in your ear that you shouldn't be listening to. Some of you have people on your front row that are putting you down. You need to have a vision of your relationships. There are relationships that I have with people that some of you will never know. Some of you don't know. I've learned from all of my mentors to diversify in what you know. And that's why I'll go ahead and, well, I'm not going to announce it to you yet. No, I'm not going to do that. I haven't announced it to the inner circle. Inner circle always gets it first, then I announce it to everybody. So I'm going to announce to the inner circle this week what the Teach Conference or Teach 2018 is going to be all about. Can't announce it to everybody. Inner circle gets it first. All right. Here's the next question. The first question under vision of your relationships was, who should be on your front row? The second question you need to ask yourself is what relationships do I need, and what relationships do I need to release? Okay? All three of these questions kind of go together. What relationships do I need? And then what relationships do I need to release? Some of you need to release some relationships, and some of you need new relationships. All right? That's what I love about the inner circle. Okay? Because in the inner circle, these women are finding new relationships. One of the ladies in the inner circle was doing a project and needed a principal, I think it was. I can't remember. She needed a principal or something. Okay? And she put that out. It was either in the inner circle or in Vision Building Women. It was in one of them. But she needed it and she put it out there. And she was able to get that within a matter of minutes. Able to complete her project, move on to the next thing. Okay? People in the inner circle have connected and are working together on certain things. And I connect people that I know are working together. I have two people in the inner circle. Both of them do things with mental health. Okay? Both of them do something with mental health, and I'm connecting the two of them. Now, what they do and how they do it is on them, but just so they know each other exists. Okay? Just so that they know each other exists. That's a wonderful thing. Some of you need to look at your relationships and ask yourself, what relationships do I need and what relationships do I need to release? Some of you need to release some relationships so you can go to that next level that God has for you. All right? So now, I tell you, I get so full during the week. So when I get here on Sunday nights, I'm just excited to be able to pour out. I'm just so excited to be able to pour out. And tonight's lesson on what the five types of vision that every woman needs, I will tell you, I need you to really think about this week. And ask yourself, do I have a vision of abundance? And what is my vision of abundance? What does abundance look like for me spiritually, emotionally, financially, and health-wise? What does abundance look like for me? What is my vision of sowing seed? What is my seed and how am I sowing it? What is my seed and how am I sowing it? My vision of momentum and movement. What are the things that give me momentum? How am I moving? Am I moving, or am I just going around in circles? Or do I truly have momentum and I'm moving forward and pushing forward? Number 4, what is my vision of assignment? What is the assignment that God has on my life? Am I doing my assignment in every area of my life? Am I doing the right assignment at the right time? Number 5, what is my vision of provision? What is my vision of provision? Am I taking what God gives me and am I working it such that provision, I'm making provision and then more provision will come? Okay? And then the last one, what is my vision of relationships? Who are the people that need to be on my front row? Who are the people that I need to be in relationship with? And who are the people that I need to release? Okay? Because these are things, the kinds of things that I'm teaching you here tonight, and the kinds of things I'm going to be teaching the rest of this year are the kinds of things that will take you to your next, whatever your next is. Think about your career. Think about your ministry. Think about your calling. Think about your business. Think about whatever it is that God is saying He wants you to do in 2018, and this stuff will apply. This teaching will apply. I'm telling y'all, 2018 is a year of action. And your vision, whatever you have on the inside of you that God has said He wants you to move forward, it's not going to happen unless you begin to take action. Okay? It's not going to happen until you begin to take action. Ooh, I like that. Not going to happen until you begin to take action. All right? So, tonight, if you have ladies that need to hear this, get them to join Vision Building Women, because that's the only place this goes. All right. And I actually send it out to my email list. My email list will probably get this one. All right. I don't send all of them out, but they'll probably get this one. If you're not on my email list, then please get on there. And that is drsandraspeaks.com, drsandraspeaks.com. If you go to that website, type in your name and your email, boom, you'll get on my email list. That's all you have to do. Your name and your email. If you want to know more about the Inner Circle, and you can join the Inner Circle at any time. We have it now, such that you can join the Inner Circle at any time. All right. And the website for the Inner Circle is bit.ly/The Inner Circle 2018. bit.ly/The Inner Circle 2018. And I'm not releasing yet what Teach 2018 is because I have not released it to the Inner Circle. As soon as I release it to the Inner Circle, then I will let you all know, let everyone else know. But I do want you to, I'll put some things out there about saving some dates that I want you all to save some dates for, because yes, I am going to have a live event in 2018. I'm only going to do one live event this year, and it is going to be, I don't know what you call it, the bomb. It is going to be all of that. Okay. And I'm not saying that because it's my live event. I'm saying that because I am following God and doing exactly what God is exactly what God has said do. And it is going to be an event. And I want all of you there. Got to release the dates to the Inner Circle first, and then I'll release the dates to everybody else. Now, remember that as you go through this week, meditate. And go back, listen to this as a replay, and make sure that you understand your vision of abundance, your vision of sowing seed, your vision of momentum and movement, your vision of your assignment, your vision of provision, and your vision of your relationships. Okay? Understand what that means and what that is. Before I sign off, remember the Inner Circle. If you're interested in that, bit.ly/Inner Circle 2018. Always, if you're not on my email list, please get on my email list. That's drsandraspeaks.com, drsandraspeaks.com. If you're not on there, please get on there. I do want to say a congratulations to one of my clients, Vision Building Woman, and I do want to put this in here too. One of my clients is a Vision Building Woman who is having I think it's maybe her second or third live event, but she is launching her new book this weekend, Frankia Booz. I'm excited about that. We'll be there with her on this weekend, on this Saturday. Really excited about that. So those of you that can come, we put it in the group, and so you should be able to see that. There's some other things that are going to be happening this month. I am literally almost, but I think I have maybe one weekend that I am not booked for first quarter. Actually, for most of the half a year, we have a couple of weekends that we're not booked. But spending time with some churches. My mentor is helping me to expand. I was thinking one little thing to do, and she now has me expanding something in terms of my teaching and helping other people in their teaching. And we started that process on this past Friday night, and so we're excited about that. For those of you that are in the area, please come out to Frankia's live event and see and work with her. I mean, be there and support her for her live event. And the information is in the site or in the Vision Building Women group. You can see that there. For those of you that want to be a part of the Inner Circle, want more information, bit.ly/the Inner Circle 2018. And for those of you who are not on my email list but want to be on it, please get on there, and that is drsandraspeaks.com. I really hope that this is the night has blessed you. And I see the stuff going by. Let me make sure I don't see any questions. Yes, Marcita, I like that. It's going to be live. My live event is going to be live. Okay. Again, remember, I said this at the beginning. When God elevates you, He also elevates everything that you do. And I like that. When God elevates you, thank you, Lord. When God elevates you, He also elevates everything that you do. Okay. So for those of you that were at Teach before, it is live. It is elevation. It is everything that God has called it to be, and then some. So I'm excited about 2018. It is 10/18. Prophetess Scarborough, I still didn't make it tonight. You know what I'm talking about. You and I had this conversation this weekend. One of these days, y'all, I am going to be off of here by 10 o'clock. I love y'all. Happy Founders Day to all of my beautiful sorors. My beautiful sorors, our Founders Day is coming up. Happy Founders Day to all of the beautiful women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And of course, happy Founders Day to my beautiful sorors, the ladies of Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.